bastard kids.
Like a torch.
The coach didn't catch fire.
She's still under sedation, Doctor.
Fire! Burning me!
Must be your mind's way of releasing the trauma of the crash.
Wind, blowing the flames. Red, the door is red. Oh! 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 Oh!
Intriguing. Let me know as soon as you wake.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Mark.
That's all right.
I want to word with you about Mary Valley, the coach crash.
We were just discussing that very subject. This is Colonel Bingham, Peter Haynes.
Hello.
How do you do? Child progressing well?
Physically, yes.
Then what's your problem?
I want to keep her in.
You can't, unless you have a very good reason.
Well, there's something very wrong, something more than minor abrasions and shock. She needs psychotherapy.
If our orphanage insists on her going back there, then we must let her. Officially, she's in their care.
Well, they must be concerned about the coach crash. I think she can help us find out how it happened.
You want me to back your request?
Well, they'll listen to you.
Well, I can't commit myself without knowing all the facts.
Then come and see her. Please.
Very well. Later.
Thank you, sir.
You haven't told me yet why you're so interested in the accidental death of a coach driver.
I may be semi-retired, but I have my reasons.
You still miss your work?
This isn't just a police matter, Mark. This is personal.
I don't see how.
Mark, you've heard of the Van Tralen Fellowship.
A highly charitable organization.
The coach was returning to the airport from an outing in London arranged for the children of the Van Tralen orphanage.
A very fortunate escape.
Not for the driver.
They might all have been killed.
That was precisely the intention.
A coachload of children? I can't believe that.
The children were incidental.
What?
They were accompanied by 3 illustrious and very rich trustees of the Van Tralen Trust.
Who would want to kill them?
During the past 9 months, 3 trustees have died. Something here I'd like you to have a look at. Noreen Stokes, extremely successful novelist, drove her car over a cliff on a road that she knew like the back of her hand. Paul Anderson, textile tycoon, we worked together during the war in military intelligence, fell off a top-floor balcony.
Suicide?
He was recuperating from a prostate gland operation, hardly the end of the world. Helen Van Tralen blew out her brains, apparently.
But you don't think she did?
Suicide needs a motive, Mark. Helen Van Tralen created the trust and the orphanage. She was devoted to the children there. She was also immensely rich. All her money and the full estate of the other 2 is willed to the Van Tralen Trust. If those 3 trustees had died in that coach last night, the trust would have been £5 million richer.
And you think someone couldn't wait for natural causes?
I can prove it with your help.
It's police territory.
I can get temporary reinstatement with full authority.
You won't find it easy persuading the Home Office to do that.
Oh, they'll listen to me and evidence from you, and they know my association with Paul Anderson. I want this case.
Why?
Paul Anderson was a very great friend of mine. Those deaths are connected, Mark. I'm sure of it.
You've got my kid here. Where is she?
Could I have the name, please?
Harb. Anna Harb. And the kid's name's Mary.
Harb, Mary Harb. Sorry, madam. No one of that name here.
But I tell you, she's here.
You sure you've come to the right place, madam?
Look, if you think I'm leaving here without seeing my kid, mate, you're mistaken.
Here, just a minute. Stop her. Come on.
Let go of me!
Come on.
I want my girl. You've got no right to keep. Let me go, you pig! How dare you!
Find out what you can. Please.
You bloody porter, get out of it! Take your hands off me! I want my girl. You've no right to keep me. Hey, take her!
What's all the fuss about?
I don't know. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Person of the name of Mrs. 𝐁𝐿 claimed we got her...
Did you say 𝐁𝐿?
That's right, sir. Rather a dubious...
Well, she's the girl's mother.
How do you know that?
Mary told me the trustees had her name changed from 𝐁𝐿.
It's about a missing kid.
Putting you through. News desk.
I want to report a stolen child.
Can you give me some details, please?
Well, of course I bloody can. She's my kid and I want her back.
Can I have your name and address, please?
It was your newspaper that first revealed it to me, you see. Sugar?
No, thanks.
I recognized her straight away from the photograph. Poor little Mary. You've got to help me to get her back.
I can't promise we'll print the story.
You will.
Mrs. 𝐁𝐿. Plenty of cases like yours.
But Mary's different. She's my daughter. I've got to help her.
Help her. She's got to be better off where she is than here.
Think you know it all, don't you? Look, I'm a mother. They've got no right to steal her from me. She's mine.
Sorry, Mrs. 𝐁𝐿. It's not enough. Like my editor said, what's so special about Anna 𝐁𝐿?
You tight little hustler.
I don't like being conned.
What do you mean?
I know about you. 10 years, Broadmoor, triple killing. That's why they took your Mary away.
Yes, I'll hold on. When I said I'd back you, I hardly expected you to go this far.
I had to have time.
You had no authority to hold Mary Valley back against the wishes of those responsible for
Well,
her.
how else can I help her?
Hello? Oh, Lord Fawnley. Good afternoon. My name is Ashley. That is correct.
Sir Mark, I was speaking with a Dr. Haynes earlier today. A rather overzealous young man.
Oh, yes. He's the psychiatrist on Mary's case.
The medical reports we received spoke only of slight abrasions and shock. Dr. Haynes apparently requires Mary to undergo fresh tests and observation. Is all that really necessary?
I'm sure Dr. Haynes is only acting